there, my name is Susan and a huge welcome to this video on my YouTube channel. Now I'm an artist, an author and a little bit of a sketchbook addict, and I love all things art materials and sketching processes. But today what I wanted to share with you was a book review of a new book that I was sent through the post by the author herself. Now the book is called Exploring Printmaking, a practical guide to printmaking techniques. It's written by Gill Thompson and produced by Herbert Press. And I had the honour of contributing a small section to this book where I talked about how I use my sketchbooks as a way of creating ideas for prints. Now, if you didn't know, I actually studied a printmaking degree when I was at university over 20 years ago, and I have been doing printmaking, including things like lino printing and block printing, for many years. So let me open the pages of this book and I'll show you inside. Okay, so here we are. Here is the book Exploring Printmaking by Gill Thompson. It is 175 pages long and states on the back that it is a beginner-friendly guide to creating unique and eye-catching prints at home. So there's advice on tools and materials, monoprints, experimenting, and 8 creative projects as well. So it's got a lovely cover. I absolutely love these little fishes on the front. Okay, and the reason I'm sharing this book is because Gill emailed me asking me to take part, as she has some artists being examples of people that use printmaking within the book. So I contributed some images, and this sketchbook here is one of them that was included. So I'll come back to that in a second. So it's a very practical guide. It's got some lovely images throughout. Comprehensive contents list, so what printmaking is and how you get set up, and it explores a few different types of printmaking, such as monoprinting, which is unique prints. You've got relief printing, so that's carving into things. You've got printing with packaging, eco printing, sun printing, and then some other bits and creative projects. So this is Gill here. She is based in the Isle of Lewis in Scotland, and I've spoken to her on several occasions. She's absolutely lovely. Some examples of her work are shown throughout the book. Now, I've had a really good look through this book. I think it's absolutely amazing. I love the imagery. I like the way that it's broken down. And this section here, for example, talks about setting up your workspace, and very much this has the approach of making it accessible to printing at home. So everything within here is pretty much things that you can do from a home setup, on a kitchen table, dining table. She's got images here from her sketchbooks, and I just wanted to show you this page. So this is the contribution that I did myself. So you can see this is the sketchbook here. And this sketchbook was completed during, I think it was 2020, in my 30-day sketchbook challenge. And every day, using one of the prompts, I did a little sketch, which I then converted into a little block print. So one of the things that I use my sketchbooks for, apart from just drawing for pure fun and enjoyment, is to prepare ideas for block prints, lino prints, and other types of printmaking that I enjoy. So this whole sketchbook is full of little doodles, pencil drawings that were then converted into simple block prints. And so this page here, which shows myself and my studio and a few of my sketches and prints, is basically talking about how I use sketchbooks as a place for me to explore ideas, doodle what I see, and make notes for future works, which is exactly what I do. I do have hundreds of sketchbooks, as it say on here, and absolutely the biggest tip that I would give to yourself or to anyone reading this book or considering doing printmaking or any sort of creativity is to start with a small sketchbook and a single pencil. I think making notes, making doodles, things that you do in little pockets of time within your day to build up a regular sketching habit are really important. And so this is what I talk about within this section of Exploring Printmaking. So I was very honoured to be asked to take part and to submit these images of my work. And hopefully this will help anybody reading this book to prepare images and ideas ready for carrying out some of the wonderful printmaking projects. So it goes through talking about what monoprinting is, which is essentially creating unique prints and the sorts of things that you can create. There's always step-by-step instructions, some helpful pictures, and lots of lovely images of works as well. After monoprinting, it moves on to relief printing, which is essentially using a block that you can either cut into or work in a different way. Some really fun ideas here. And then my personal favourite is always lino cut. I do love lino cut. I have written a couple of books on lino cut called Learning Lino Cut and Beginner's Guide to Lino Cut, so I do really enjoy it and I absolutely love it. So any other book or artist that is talking about lino cut, I am there. I would have bought this book anyway, even if Gill hadn't sent me a copy. So she talks about mark making in lino, which I think is super important, preparing blocks, how to carve, cleaning up, etc, etc. So all the useful bits and pieces that you need to know. So this is rather fantastic. I'm flicking through the pages rather quickly just so that you can have a really good view. And again, there are other artist features here. So this is Karen Cormacu, aka Lino Cut Lassie, and it shows some examples and a little bit of an interview with her. Moves on to Collage, which is essentially using like collage. And we have another artist feature here, Susie McKenzie, who is a printmaker. And then some really fun things such as printing with packaging. If you've never tried this before, it's super fun. And then we look onto eco printing. So it's basically using leaves and flowers with all their wonderful textures, cooking up botanical prints. So there's some really fun things that you can do. You've also got cyanotype here, which is essentially using sort of chemicals and light to create prints. This is super fun. I haven't done this since I was at university, but absolutely fun. And then it does encourage you as you progress through the book to look at mixing it up, and that you can mix up your techniques and create hybrid prints that use a little bit of everything, which I highly recommend. It's super fun to be able to play with printmaking in all sorts of different ways. And then we have another example of an artist here, Claire Youngs, who is a collage artist. Look at these, absolutely amazing. And then at the end of the book, there are creative projects. So you have things like gift tags, bookmarks, corner bookmarks. And as they moves in, you've got making accordion books, 3D projects. So there's a lot of fun things to go through here. So one thing that I would say is that this book is packed full of information. There is information here on presenting your work, things you can do next, and then there's also a list of places to source your tools and materials. And as Gill is based in the UK, there is slightly more suppliers here in the UK, but also some suppliers across the world as well. Obviously myself, I'm listed here as one of the contributors that submitted information, and a handy glossary of terms. So all in all, I think this book is incredibly well curated. It's a lovely quality and a really nice size. A good one to have on your art shelf if you are curious about exploring printmaking and having a play with some different printmaking techniques that you can do from the comfort of your own home. So thank you, Gill, for this project, for this book, and I hope everyone else enjoys this as much as I have. So I hope you really enjoyed a look inside this book, Exploring Printmaking. And if you've not tried printmaking before, this might be a really great place to start. Now I'll post in the comments a link to this book and also my own printmaking books that I have produced. So if you fancy exploring printmaking just as something a little different from my usual sketching information, then have a little look. Happy sketching, everyone.